Good morning and welcome to another broadcast of Unity and Faith. My God, I'm honored. Since I'm a fan, I kind of got my fan crush going on over here. We're honored to have on the show none other than the internationally world famous, world traveled Patrice Wright. If that was an audience, I'd make them stand up and applaud.
Well, also, my professional name, traveling, is Patrice Moncell.
Patrice Moncell.
Yeah, and Moncell is actually my middle name. My full name is Patrice Moncell Wright. My first record, I was not in Jackson when they pressed it up.
Oh.
And the producer could not remember Wright. He couldn't remember my last name. And my roommate said, well, I know her middle name is Moncell. Okay, because she thought it was unique. And because I'm named after the opera singer Patrice Moncell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Jackson, you have an award here that you received in Jackson. Would you mind telling us something about this?
I have a friend who wanted a copy of my gospel CD, and I was giving them away. You know, whenever I do workshops and things like that, or somebody wants something by me, I just give them a copy, you know. And she let someone else hear it. And next thing I know, Otha Kane from WOAD, who is a friend of mine, he heard it, and he wanted a copy to play on the radio. Well, and when Jackson Free Press did a poll, my gospel CD was among the favorites.
My God! And
your God, my God! I was seriously surprised. We were in Atlanta for Christmas when I got the phone call, and Judy said, "Are you sitting down?" I'm like, "That's my manager," and I was like, "Yeah, what's going on?" You know, and I was sick. I was so sick, and she said, "You've been nominated by the Jackson Free Press as in the top gospel favorites," and I'm like, "What?" You know,
wow.
You playing with me, you know, because I just gave someone a CD. I didn't think that it would lead to that. You know what I'm saying? And Otha wanted one, you know, to play on the radio, and he was playing it, and people started calling in and requesting it.
Well, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
Well, Miss Moncell.
Okay.
Will you tell us something about this musical journey that you've been on? What has been some of your greatest highs, and also some of your greatest lows that you wouldn't mind sharing with our audience?
When I was a teenager, I was a pageant girl. I liked to enter pageants, you know, and the Miss Black Meridian pageant. I was in that, and one of the questions that they ask in pageants was, "What's your life's goal? What's one of the things that you would like to do?" And my dream was to sing at Carnegie Hall, you know.
Wow.
And I did that. I've done that.
Wow.
I did not realize that I would be in some of the greatest places in the world before that, because before I made it to Carnegie Hall, I sang in the oldest church in the world, on the island of Sicily, built in 100 AD.
Wow.
I sang in one of the most beautiful theaters in Italy. You know, I sang in Rome and Venice, and sang for the Archbishop of Italy. And, you know, I've done it. Before I made it to Carnegie Hall, I got a chance to do all that.
But what was that experience like for you when your life had come full circle, and here you were in Carnegie Hall, the place that you prophesied?
I was giddy. I was so, it was like I was floating, you know. Someone from the audience was waiting for me backstage when we walked off after the performance. We were there for a week, and John Rutter, who's who is the greatest world-renowned composer in the world, was our conductor. And when I walked off stage, I'm just part of the group.
What did you sing?
We did the Mozart Requiem in Italian, in Latin, and I walk off stage and there's a group of ladies waiting for me, and they said, "You made the performance for us." I said, "I didn't sing.
Wow.
I didn't sing a solo." She said, "But you were lit up the entire performance." You know, I was so excited. I got a chance to go in Billie Holiday's dressing room, you know, in the theater, because they have dressing rooms with memorabilia from people that have been in there.
Yes.
And I got a chance to go in Billie Holiday's dressing room.
Wow.
And I was ecstatic. I can't, to tell you, standing on that stage, I felt like I was transported back to Italy, because the theaters, even the Raleigh Center here, theaters like that are based on architecture in Europe.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, they're based on, because they're built for vocal sound, you know, because they didn't have microphones back then, you know.
Oh, okay.
So they're built acoustically for vocal sound. And so I'm standing on stage at Carnegie Hall, and I felt like I was transported back to Italy. It was great. It was absolutely great.
Wow. So what have been some of the lows in your career?
The lows, my drug addiction. I was singing 7 nights a week, traveling on the weekends. I was, you know, trying to make my way into the industry. And I became very popular in Jackson almost immediately. And it was something I was not prepared for. But then I just, you know, make a long story short, I got real sick, cancer. And it was abdominal, and I was so sick, and I didn't have any insurance, and I got caught up. That's how I started doing drugs, you know, because to relieve the pain.
Did someone in the industry introduce it to you?
Yeah, definitely. It was introduced to me that way, and because they were more concerned about me making the gig. You know, and that's the way it was all the time, and then it became a habit, you know, and just going through that part of the industry. We just lost Whitney Houston, okay, and Cheryl Lee Ralph said something in an interview on CNN. She said that fame can be a witch with a bee, you know. My popularity was I didn't handle it well, because when I became sick, I began to resent my career, because I couldn't. My job was in a 9 to 5. I couldn't just take off when I got ready. You know, because my name is advertised.
So your blessing became your burden.
Yeah, a curse. Yeah, it became a curse to me. You know, and as much as I loved doing it, I hated it just as much. You know, because people didn't see me anymore. They just saw what I did. You know, nobody ever asked me how I was doing. You know, I never got questions like that. I would show up at a gig, and the first thing someone would ask me is, "What you singing tonight?" You know. Well, you going with us tonight? Or you going to hang out with us? Nobody ever asked how I was doing. And during this time, I'm in and out of the hospital. You know, I've had 16 operations to this date. Okay. And not all abdominal, but mostly. Okay. And in that process, God gave me 2 children, 12 years apart.
Wow.
I have a son that performs for Def Jam Records. He's a rapper, and and my youngest son is at Meridian High School.
So, what motivates you? What drives you to keep performing as you do, even in the midst of all of that, when people are looking past you?
Because it's my joy. It's I hate to say it like this, but on the curse side, it's my private hell, and then on the other side, it's my greatest joy, because I'm addicted to watching people be happy.
Yes.
I love watching people's faces when I'm singing. I like I like watching them go from, God, I had a hard day, to I'm having a great time.